What's up, everyone? Day 2 in the Ecoboost Mustang, or if you're from somewhere else, you might say Ecoboost. There's a huge discussion about that on the Facebook group that I troll a little bit. So I spent last night putting this blow-off valve kit on, and it's pretty amazing, actually. I can't believe how much boost and turbo efficiency is left on the table by the OEMs, because they have that leaky, stupid plastic valve thing in the from the factory. But one of the biggest things I saw right away driving was that when you used to punch it and you'd be on a good pull, once it would reach peak boost, you would see it just, the boost moving up and down, going all over the place. And now with blow-off valve that actually seals, it's just dead steady. I mean, like, I've never seen the boost gauge on this car on boost actually be dead steady at a number, and that's actually what it does. So that's pretty cool. I'm sort of starting to like this car, although, you know, I think the Mustang's really designed for guys that are at least 5'10", 5'11", 6'2". Because, like, if you're like a shorty like me, you know, like 5'8", 5'9", you're sitting halfway to the door, unless you're, you know, lean all the way back, like you're rolling through the hood. But so every time you get in and out of the car, it's like you got to push this door halfway through instead of being able to get to the, you know, the end of the door. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I kind of fit better in like an S2000. But I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I like it. I like how it performs. I remember driving a V6 Mustang a long while back, and I like the punch in that thing, and I feel like the EcoBoost might be getting a bad rap because when the boost comes on, it's not as snappy as you know, you would get with like the V6. But it's just really because there's a lot of shit going on that you know, they had to do for emissions and whatnot. So the boost quality is not completely there necessarily. But, you know, in general, this thing is pretty good. I almost Mustanged myself the other day. It was raining, so I went and did some maneuvers, a couple donuts, and I didn't get Mustanged, but I could kind of understand why the guys in those videos just eat shit a little bit, because the car likes to rotate early, like say the first 90 degrees, it just likes to go. And if you don't know what to do and stick with the 90, or where to just kind of like slowly lift off the throttle, you're probably gonna fuck yourself up pretty good. But this thing has a weird, like, once you get past 90, it sort of snaps, and the ass end of the car just kind of wants to kind of control the rotation after that. So I don't know. I mean, another time I stayed in it pretty good, and it wanted to come all the way around. So either you got to be committed and just go 180, or do a full 270. But like, once you're past 270, you better go another round, because you're not pulling it back. It's not one of those cars where you can just kind of feather the throttle and, you know, stop yourself mid donut and just keep going. Well, that's bone stock anyways, but the suspension's pretty soft. I went kind of corner to corner, it felt like, when I tried to snap the wheel back the other direction. So, you know, Mustang guys that have nailed the curb by coming out of a driveway, I could probably empathize with you. But, you know, I think a lot of you are just popping out of the throttle a little too early. And, you know, I was guilty of that. I used to have a turbo car, and when the stupid thing came on boost, before I knew how to do donuts, before I knew how to do a decent 180, I got out of the throttle really fast when the boost came on, and lit the tires up and swung back the other way, and yes, I was in the island. That was a long time ago. I don't know. I wish I could take this thing on the track drifting. I'll probably have to just, I mean, this is an automatic, right? Because I don't have a manual. And I'll tell you, it breaks the tires loose really easy. All you got to do, you don't even have to be in sport. You can be in like regular driving mode. Stomp on the gas pedal and literally just sit there and sit on the gas pedal. I'm sorry, I said gas pedal, I meant brake. Stomp on the brake pedal, stomp on the gas. As you start to see the boost come up, the tires will just let loose because the brakes can't hold them. And you know, you can do whatever the hell you want after that. I was telling a buddy of mine yesterday who's actually on the Formula D circuit right now. I wish what they would do with these auto manual cars is come up with a way to where when you pull the e-brake, it neutralizes the transmission, so you can do 180s pretty easily. Because, you know, the thing that's crappy about a automatic trans car is you can't clutch kick the fucking thing, right? So that's kind of a pain in the ass, and that's the only thing keeping me away from wanting to have a trans car. You know, maybe somebody can make like a fake clutch pedal that neutralizes the transmission, and then you can sort of cheapy clutch kick it, but then you'd probably kill the torque converter whenever it would go neutral and then pop back in real hard. You wouldn't actually break the back loose or anything. You'd have to have a pretty damn good torque converter to be able to take that kind of abuse. But what if, this is a big what if somebody had a thing where you pull the e-brake, it goes into neutral, and then once you drop the e-brake back down, it's back in drive or whatever the hell it is, gear it's supposed to be in at the speed you're going at, or whatever gear you were holding last. Would that be hard to do as a product? I mean, I don't know. I don't make like electronic boxes and shit like that. I make kind of more mechanical type parts. So heading up to Tito, buddy of mine, fabricator, guy I've worked with for many years, go racing with him sometimes, and we're gonna do a little bit of fabrication because we're gonna have two of these cars in one spot. Actually, my buddy Jackie, who owns Ambit Wheels, is gonna have his Mustang there, and Tito had made him a whole, you know, Ecoboost front mount kit for it, and we're just gonna test fit one of these pipes, and maybe run the R55 valve on it too, and so I can test that and see how that works on this car. So yeah, I was up pretty late last night doing R&D, trying to button up the last little things on this car before I came over to Tito's. And you know, of course, USPS lost a bunch of parts that I sent him, and they didn't deliver, and he needed it on time. So I also had to get a bunch of parts together for this single turbo 335 kit he's finishing up. And so yeah, I tried to save money by shipping USPS, and it was only going to be $5, but instead of, you know, $20 with the UPS or whatever, and that was the biggest mistake, because UPS probably would have gotten it there. Instead, USPS totally screwed the whole fucking thing up. So now it's actually probably going to cost, I mean, how much does the gas cost to go up there right now? I'm going to spend $30 in gas, $40 in gas plus my time. Well, I'm gonna get some development done anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, well, driving right past Keystone here in Corona. Looks like they're shipping parts out. Nice. When I get over there, I'm going to continue to video a little bit, so you guys can see what the process is like when you're trying to make parts. It ain't easy. This is part of what R&D is, because there's no manufacturer that's going to help you out unless you're huge and massive. And so you got to go get your own cars. You got to go and test fit on your own cars. Luckily for me, now a lot of these turbo cars are available in the rental fleet, so just rent it a couple days, measure up on it, test on it. You don't have to deal with customers bitching and moaning about their car being down for a week, like, you know, it was in the old days. and you have an ohm and a bunch of stuff, just rent a car, a couple $100, R&D's done. So the valve that I got on the Mustang right now is the SB valve, which, you know, is the V3 latest version of the valve, and it's a bigger valve than what it started life off with. It's got like 40% more flow, but I don't know if you can hear it if I'm sitting here playing with it in stop and go traffic. I don't know, let's see, can you hear this? But this car's super responsive. I'm not even having the solenoid control the dumb thing. Yeah, the SB valve's got kind of a unique sound to it. I can't wait to put an R35 in here and see what an R35 sounds like when it goes off. Or an R55. I wonder if an R55 is going to be loud. I mean, this thing actually has bigger turbos than my truck, so. Man, that sounds good. Love how that thing sounds. I mean, I set this thing up so you can even recirculate it if you're not into the sound, but most of my customers are customers. Synapse customers are there for the sound, which is kind of sad because actually, like, performance is the main reason why you should be buying the product, because it's what makes it completely different. And people wonder, like, you know, why do we put it on a separate pipe altogether? Because that's just what makes it perform better, is if it's purpose built. If I sit there and try to put a blow off valve on some existing shitty flange and some crappy diameter pipe that the OEM already made, that's made out of plastic, and it's got all kinds of airflow dampeners and crap like that in it to do all kinds of ugly shit, I mean, that's just, the product's not going to perform. I don't know, to me, I'm kind of a purist. That's what it's all about, is having something that performs well for you. So, let's see, can you hear this? It's fairly loud. It's pretty loud in the cabin. I mean, I'll tell you, it's kind of rare that you'll get something this loud. Scare bunnies with this. Alright, just got to Tito's shop here, and you can see by the collection of cars here, it's RX-7 land. There's a Porsche there, but yeah, that's mostly kind of a fluke. It's got all kinds of shit here. Let's take a look at this single turbo 335 setup he's got going on. I brought him one of our new manual boost controllers because he needs to be able to control boost on this thing instead of relying on the ECU to do it. And
they both actually work.
You're about to see the most professional
For both bottom and top.
automotive fabrication bay in the world. It's called a fucking parking lot.
Peter, I was trying to explain interrupt and bleed.
We got Cuban, we got Mexican. We got Cuban.
We need your boost
Mexican.
course because I got
Chinito.
lost. Yeah.
What?
Boost
I got
course.
lost. I was explaining
Yeah, I was trying to
interrupt and bleed, and I got lost. Because I was thinking you could do both on the bottom.
You could do
the
both,
wastegate.
yeah, you could do whatever the hell you want.
And on the top.
Yeah, but the interrupt is...
It's just how you want to control it.
Interrupt is making it less than what it actually is, and bleed is actually just
Bleeding out like a T.
No, yeah, so you have the T, right? And then bleed is like, you come off the T, so the wastegate's always getting pressure. Interrupt, you're taking pressure away from the wastegate, so the wastegate's always shut.
Okay.
And so, like, it's good because it makes the turbo spool up faster on interrupt.
Okay.
On interrupt.
On interrupt, yeah.
To the top, though.
No. It doesn't have to be through the top. No. You can do it through the bottom. It
Better
just
than
bleeds.
bleed, 'cause
Bleeds
bleed
a
is-
softer way for the boost to come in a
It
little
could
bit.
creep, or it could open sooner.
With what?
With the
Interrupt?
With bleed.
No, with
not what
bleed.
you
With
want.
bleed, actually, it's always getting boost, so the wastegate might just crack.
It could open, yeah, and
Yeah.
then you get lagged.
Yeah.
So we should run it.
I don't know about lag, but the wastegate's gonna crack you sooner.
You started losing exhaust energy.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit though. It's not in there yet.
Way too tight.
How far does this have to go? Does this
What?
go on the other side of the V-band?
I would put it on the other side of the V-band. Yeah.
Fit it in there.
You know, honestly though, does it really matter? I mean, it's not like it's gonna fly off or it's gonna get hit with a lot of G's or anything. As long as it's
stuck in there, I think we'll be okay.
yeah, and as long as it's not gonna burn up, and as long as it's not burning up everything around it, I think you're okay.
Shit, it's higher than the flower we did over here.
See if you can catch the spring running.
Yeah, good luck.
Dude, you know, honestly,
Yeah, the whole
those
thing is
those springs are just a fucking gimmick. A lot of times, I would use safety wire. Oh no, fucking zip tie.
Safety wire?
Use safety wire.
I'm bringing it.
Cause those springs relax anyways. I'd use safety wire. Safety wire the thing. Not a bad little setup.
9174.
What is it?
9174 EFR. So I think the compressor wheel is like 68 millimeter.
Is it
on the
spooling
front.
too slow or?
I mean it spools really fast, but I feel like it's just be a little faster for EFR.
It is a 3-liter though.
I brought the safety wire.
A small AR284
Yeah.
turbine.
Hmm.
That's not safety wire, bro. Peter, tell him that's not safety wire.
What is that? Yeah, that's like guitar wire.
No, this isn't good.
No, dude, safety wire is solid.
It'll work.
It's like the welding rod.
Is that welding rod?
No,
No.
the safety wire is like it.
You called the safety wire last time though.
No, safety
When we were
wire is
doing-
super duper soft though.
This will work though, wouldn't it?
Very committed to
Is this a Honda?
Look at Victor, look at Victor. Yeah. Request
it.
What's in it?
Primered one? Or the one?
I don't know. I can't.
That's an East LA special right there, bro.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's in a lot.
What'd you say, Sinaloa?
Yeah.
Sinaloa.
That's where Victor's from. That's so funny.
Dude, some Sinaloans are gonna fucking chase your shit now for saying that. They're like,
Okay.
he's making us look bad.
That's fine.
Oh, I told you about did I tell you about my cousin and the Sinaloans?
No.
Yeah, you're good.
Here's a manual boost controller I'm putting on here. It's kind of different. Not different like retarded, but just, you know, different. Because it's not out there. Why are you killing yourself, Tito? Trying to make this little spring around.
I need to eat.
Race car guys, you're so obsessed. Just trying to work this one little spring in there for this turbo blanket one.
It's lost now forever.
Turbo blanket's not going anywhere, dude. It's like wedged up against the body of the car.
It work.
Weld rod, safety wire. That's the trick. Little tip on the manual boost controller. Since I designed it. Anyways, use a little Teflon tape on the thread. It's gonna be nice and smooth on adjustments.